test, BMI check or blood pressure check, it's okay if they want to stay in the queue and they can join afterwards. Can we take a seat? And anyone who is outside, can we get them in, please? The volunteers, please get anybody else outside who would like to join the event. Ask them to come inside, take a seat, and we will start the event. Right, last reminder for everyone, take a seat. Right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate that it's been a long day for all of us, especially for all the volunteers and all the NHS professionals who have come in since probably about 10 o'clock this morning. So I know it's been a long day. We have an important part of the event today. Now it's 2 p.m. and we want to start with different topics, and all the NHS professionals are here to talk about different topics, different aspects that will impact or it already impacts our life. Can we make sure the kids sit down in one place and our quiet if possible. Thank you. And if the children would like to go in the temple hall and play, that's not a problem as well. We can ask one of the volunteers to go with them. They can keep an eye on them. Lovely, thank you very much. So, today we are going to talk about number of aspects. Before we do that, let me just highlight the names of the professionals who are here with us today. We got Ganesh from Sholing Pharmacy, Ed Walton from NHS Inclusion and Sustainability team. Then we have social prescribers, NHS Diabetes UK team, which is Angie, Amish and Catherine. We have Burgess Road Surgery staff members, Lisa Lucas and Emma. And then we also got Jill from St. Mary's Surgery and Mulberry Surgery. We got Maria and Debbie from Solent NHS. And they can talk about TB and screening of TB. We got University Hospital, we got Dr. Mayank Patel, Daniel Offin and Dr. Shivani Agarwal. We got InHealth team, they are the diabetic eye screening team. So we got Michaela from them. And we got Practice Plus group here. We got Dr. Andrew Flood and we got Mrs. Namrata Bora. And we got Wessex Cancer Alliance team, we got Portsmouth Hospital NHS Trust member Raghu and University Health member Pavani. They are all helping in the testing area right now as we speak. Then we also got some amazing people who are going to talk about their personal journey. I assume that you all understand that talking about your own personal life, talking about what you have been through and how you are tackling the situation, which impacts not just you but your whole family, it's not an easy task. It requires a lot of courage, lot of guts as well. And we are very, very lucky that some people have very kindly agreed to come and talk about their personal journey, so you can get something out of it, you can learn something from it, and you can actually take something away from it. And then we got these amazing professionals who are giving their personal time. We all know how busy NHS is right now, but they are actually coming out of their busy schedule on their day off to give time back to the community. And these NHS professionals are very, very kind to provide some information to all of you. So the way it's going to work is we have diabetes as our first topic. We are going to then talk about heart. We are then going to talk about orthopedic issues, and then we have cancer presentation. After that, we will have Ganesh from pharmacy, who will talk about what services are now available in pharmacy. As you can imagine, it has evolved quite a lot as well over the years. And then we have Namrata from Practice Plus group, who will talk about her how you can access the private hospital through NHS. And then it will be the end of the event. So we aim to finish at 4 o'clock. We are running a couple of minutes late, about 5 to 7 minutes late. So we want to make sure we crack on with this event. We also have the opportunity to ask any questions. So once the presentation is finished by the doctors, you can remember what question you wanted to ask, and they are very, very happy to answer those questions for you. So I also have one of my lovely volunteer, Shobna Phillips. She's going to introduce all the speakers who are going to talk about their personal stories, and I will introduce all the professionals, NHS professionals. So can I have a huge round of applause for Shobna?
Hello everyone, and thank you for being here. And today we've got the topic for diabetes. So we've got Uday Baitakra today here. He is a lovely gentleman whom I've known for so many years. He's got 3 children. He's obviously here, and he's going to actually talk about diabetes. So come forward today, Mike.
Hello everybody, my name is, a little bit taller than you ladies. I will joke my way through. I have my diabetes, I'm 66 years old, my diabetes was picked up about 20 years ago. One day I was writing and I could not feel a pen as if I was holding it. So obviously panic, thinking that I've had a stroke or something, so I went to the GP and said, blood test and everything, said, you got diabetes. It's one of those things that it's a silent. You don't know until they tell you that you've got it. You might think, it's got flu. Anyway, my journey started, like I said, 20 years ago. It's nice to see one of the ladies that looked after me, Maria, here. I might get a little bit emotional, so bear with me, please. Because I've lost my wife through diabetes as well. And it's been hard, but I got 3 lovely children that pushed me through. And recently, I was on holiday and I was walking on the beach just like you normally do. And one of my friends in the villa said, Uday, you've got blood on your villa, I didn't even feel it because it's normally a dead skin. But the ulcer popped. So I must have obviously stepped on something on the beach. So one of the advice, anybody who's got diabetes, please do not walk barefoot. Because as soon as you get cut, there's pebbles, stones on the beach. In every nature that you walk on the beach barefooted. But try not to, even in your house, especially in the kitchen, because you might drop something and you cut your leg. And a lot of diabetes people don't feel it, that it's been cut. Because it becomes a dry skin, barefoot. Dr. Tucker would know what it is. It's just, every time I go to a diabetic check, they do a little pin test on your feet. You just have to say yes, no, so they know which. But diet-wise, obviously, our problem, being Indians, is food. So I was also lucky that one of my uncles is a diabetic specialist. He told me what to do, and he said, proteins, protein, protein. Forget the carbs. If you eat roti, don't eat rice. If you eat rice, don't eat roti, don't eat it together. I've been doing it recently, and as I said, I had a toe amputation because of diabetes. Hence a ski boot, as I call it. But it's one of those things that they say that prevention is a better cure. So they suggested they take my little toe off, which they have done 3 weeks ago. I'm managing it, 8-9 weeks to wearing the boot. But in our profession, in my Indian, it's food. Proteins, protein, protein, because my wife died and she didn't even know. And so they also told me that heart attacks on diabetic people is silent. They don't know they're having a heart attack. My wife had 5. And on the 4th one, they said, they looked after her for 9 months in the hospital, and they said, take her home now. There's nothing we can do. But we thought it was just sleeping awkwardly on the bed. But she had 3 heart attacks at home, which she didn't even know. So my request to you is, anything you feel, numbness, anything like that, just get it checked. Maria is there, she helped me through a lot. And she was my battering ram. Every time I needed advice, she was there. So thank you, Maria. Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for hearing my story.
Can we have a huge round of applause for Uday Chakra? As I said earlier, it's not easy to talk about your own journey, especially when it has impacted not just you, but your whole family. So it can be emotionally quite difficult to explain their journey, so be patient with them, but it is difficult. It is difficult. We completely understand. But we call you all warriors. You are still fighting, and you continue fighting. Our best wishes are with you. Thank you so much. So on the topic of diabetes, we have Dr. Mayank Patel. Mayank Patel, you may not know how I know you. So one of your friends, Vinay Sonchadla, I knew him, and he mentioned you somewhere a couple of years ago. And then a few weeks ago, months ago in fact, Viren Bhai, Shobna Aunty, Jill, Nikita and I, 5 of us sat down and we just started talking about this event. And I was like, I know somebody, I've got his number on my phone. It's like he is a diabetes specialist. And then these guys were so amazed because I just picked up the phone to you in front of everybody and just put you on the spot. We got this event on 8th of June. Can you do a presentation? And he's like, yeah, I can. It's like, thank God he saved me, because it would have been quite embarrassing if you would have said, you know what, how the hell you got my number? But it was amazing. It's very kind of you to say yes. Thank you so much for that. So Dr. Mayank Patel has worked as a consultant specializing in adult diabetes care since 2008. Apart from treating patients, he also works with 2 leading UK diabetes charities, producing educational resources and delivering talks to patients and public and healthcare professionals on a day-to-day life. So we are very, very blessed to have Dr. Mayank Patel here. Thank you so much, Doctor, and over to you.
Right, hi, good afternoon everybody, really nice to be here. Tough act to follow, thank you for sharing your story. You've set the scene very nicely for everybody. So I've got 10 minutes, I'll be as brief as I can, but hopefully informative. So the topic is living well with type 2 diabetes.
Turn it on.
Oh, sorry, yes, that was the first thing.
Lovely.
It's on?
Give it a chance. Yes, it's on.
Okay, so this 10 minutes, I'll talk about what diabetes, type 2 diabetes is, who should get checked out for it, how might, you've got high sugar levels, how it can be diagnosed, and how to live well with type 2 diabetes. Hopefully all very culturally appropriate for our family here. So let's, wrong way, sorry. Right, so what is type 2 diabetes? Very quickly. What happens in the body? We need insulin to keep sugar levels stable. In type 2 diabetes, the problem, the insulin is not working properly, so because of that, the blood sugar levels become very high. It is not just caused by eating sugary foods. It's a very common misconception. It's not caused by just eating sugary food. If you do just eat sugary food, you will gain weight, and that is what will increase your risk of developing diabetes. Not the sugary food itself, it's the weight gain. But of course, too much sugary food is not good for you anyway, as you well know. So uncontrolled high sugars can cause problems and damage the body, both physically and mentally, which is why hopefully today you'll learn something new about diabetes. So who should get checked out for type 2 diabetes? Specifically, if you have a family history, if you're getting older, we are seeing it, however, saying that, we are seeing it in children who are overweight as well, which is quite scary. We are seeing it increase risk in ethnicity, 6 times higher in South Asians of developing type 2 diabetes. If you're not very physically active, if you're overweight, if you're having an unhealthy diet, as I mentioned, about gaining weight and more body fat, that's what increases your diabetes risk. And if you have a history of diabetes in pregnancy, that can also increase your future risk of developing type 2 diabetes. So this may be you, your friend, your family, have a think, persuade somebody to get checked out if you're worried or if they're worried. So how might you know if your sugar levels are high? There are various physical tells, the common ones. These are some of the symptoms that suggest somebody could have high sugar levels. If you're thirsty all the time, if you feel tired all the time, despite having a good night's sleep, but you still wake up feeling exhausted and you can't get through your day without feeling very tired. If you are passing water much more day and night, that is not normal, something is wrong. If you keep getting skin infections, feet infections, or water infections, that suggests there's lots of sugar attracting bacteria and infections, which suggests diabetes needs to be excluded. If your vision is blurred, you get headaches, if you cut yourself, it takes a long time to heal, these are clues that diabetes could be causing a problem. If your mouth is dry, if you have tingling or numbness, as our friend was talking about all the time, this also suggests there might be some nerve damage caused by diabetes. And if you have persistent dark skin patches on the back of your neck, as shown here, or under your arms, they're also a physical suggestion you could have type 2 diabetes. And these symptoms can be going on for months in some people. You can live with undiagnosed type 2 diabetes for months in some cases. So if these symptoms happen, please get them checked out. How can you diagnose type 2 diabetes? The best way to do it is a blood test called HbA1c. This blood test can be non-fasting and it measures the sugar in your blood that's been there for the previous 3 months. So in other words, just doing a finger prick is not really very helpful, I'll be honest, because that's just one moment in time. It doesn't tell the whole story. The best test for type 2 diabetes is HbA1c. Also, a urine sample, tipping it for sugar, is very old-fashioned and not very accurate. We don't really use that in NHS very much anymore. We focus largely on this blood test called HbA1c. There are ranges to be aware of. If your number is between 42 and 47, that suggests you have something called pre-diabetes. And that's important because that can be treated and supported to reverse it back to no diabetes. A number above 48 is consistent with type 2 diabetes. There are numbers your doctor will talk about, your nurse will talk about if you have a blood test done. So how to live well? Things you can do. We're trying to persuade people to make different health choices to help protect their blood vessels and keep their circulation going well around the whole body. Because uncontrolled high sugar levels can cause blockages of important blood vessels around your whole body, which can increase your risk of nerve damage and brain damage like strokes, eye disease, that's why eyes get photographed regularly, heart disease, heart attacks, for example, heart failure, kidney disease, and your feet. You can lose toes, you can lose feet, you can lose limbs, unfortunately. We see this every day in diabetes. So keeping those things in check is important, keeping sugar levels well managed, as well as blood pressure and blood fat, cholesterol levels can also help improve your circulation. It's really important. Apart from medical things, culturally, meditation, yoga, deep breathing, all these things can also really help relax your body, your mind, can really help, and reduce stress can also help reduce your future risk of harm from diabetes. And in terms of food, I won't go into detail, I haven't got time, but essentially, think about portion control. Try and reduce your snacking. If you're a snacker, do your best to cut down and think of the sort of things you snack on. Can you make some positive changes? Obviously, plenty of vegetables and fibre. Reducing sugary foods and fats, but I get it, of course, Diwali and other festivals, it's important to observe those. So sugary treats are fine, it's about treats, that's the key word, isn't it? Not all the time. Healthy oils, of course, reducing salt, avoiding excessive caffeine and alcohol, and keeping well hydrated are simple things to focus on. But encouraging the whole family and your friends to eat well together, it becomes normal for everybody. That's important. And in terms of what these behaviours, this is American recommendations, 5 things beginning with S that we could all probably do with and without diabetes. Do your best to avoid prolonged sittings. So every 30 minutes, including today, of course, try and stretch your legs, keep the blood pumping. Try and walk between 5,000 and 10,000 steps a day if you can do that across the whole day. Not necessarily very quickly, just try and do it. If you can break a sweat while you're doing it, even better, because your heart is working hard, that's what you want. Muscle work and strengthening, again, don't sit around all day, because if you rest, you rust. Okay, you've got to try and get up, keep your arms and legs moving, keep your muscles strong when you're getting older. And weights, yoga, resistance, all these things are very helpful. And good quality sleep also, it sounds obvious, is also very important as well. Activity-wise, nothing specific. Walking, yoga, dancing, home exercise is important. Walk with your family after a meal, for example. Do some gardening. It doesn't have to be gym or anything, just keep active. Whatever works for you. And bare feet, as our friend has already told us, be really careful in bare feet, absolutely. In diabetes, if you cut yourself, it can be a disaster. So in temple or doing exercise, just be careful in bare feet. And then obviously no smoking, you know this, of course you do. If you're on medications, please do take them if you're told to, despite feeling very well, and you think they're making no difference physically to you, they definitely are, so please do take your medications if advised. Herbal remedies, I appreciate some people like to take these things, but there's no evidence in medical research that these things have definite benefit in diabetes, otherwise they would be regular treatments. So be aware of limitations of some of the herbal things you may prefer to take. The same tablets may not work forever. Our bodies are always changing, so sometimes medications change, the doses change, and you may even be told potentially to have to consider using insulin. Don't fear it. Have a conversation about it. It may come up in your personal journey. And again, going for health checks every year, eye photographs, blood pressure, your feet, is really important. So to conclude, I hope I've shown you very briefly you can live very well with type 2 diabetes just by observing some relatively simple everyday healthy choices. Doing your best to eat healthily, keeping active as best you can is important. Making those small changes bit by bit across your family and your friends together is important. Learn from others. What are they doing? What's their story? How can you copy what they're doing or work from what they're doing and learn? And going for checkups, please, is really important. And don't feel afraid to get advice if you get strange symptoms. Better to get checked out if you're not sure. So thank you very much. To finish, probably resources to mention online. The South Asian Health Foundation, excellent resource online, really good resources and tips there and information. Diabetes UK, of course, Angie, the team were here today. Another charity, the Diabetes Research and Wellness Foundation, also doing some great work to support people to live well with diabetes. Thank you very much.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Doctor. We really appreciate that. So to make this event slightly different to other events, what we have done is for the last 2 weeks, we had this box in the temple somewhere. I think some of you might have seen it. Some of you thought it's a donation box, so we had some money in it as well. So we'll go for drinks afterwards. No.
Soft drinks, of course.
Oh, no water. We can't have soft drinks. Diabetes. Okay, jokes apart. We have got some lovely questions in there. It's great that we have this kind of boxes because sometimes people are not comfortable asking questions in front of everyone. It might be related to their own circumstances, but some people might just think, I don't want to stand up in the public and ask. So we thought this box will really help. And we have got few questions. So do you mind, Doctor, if we ask you some questions? There will be no secret questions. So hopefully straightforward. Nothing personal. Okay, if I can read it. How diabetic patients often.
So how does the disease affect the body? Well, hopefully I covered that, didn't I? So it's about looking after your body, heart and lungs, blood vessels, high sugar levels and high fat levels and high blood pressure all together block up blood pipes in your body. So keeping as fit and active as you can, keeping sugar levels down, reducing your fats, helps keep the blood pumping and the heart working hard.
Fantastic. If my grandmother had diabetes, will I get it?
So in genetics, the genes, if you like, they sort of load the gun. It doesn't mean the trigger's going to get pulled automatically. So if you have a family history, yes, you're more at risk. It does not necessarily mean you are fated to get it definitely. So doing your best to keep living healthily is still important. Saying that, there are some genetic diabetes types as well, but the first thing to do is get checked out and see what the doctor thinks of your personal situation. But it doesn't mean you're definitely going to get it just because grandma did. It's possible, it's not mandated.
But just be careful.
Be careful.
Yeah, thank you. Can diabetes be reversed?
So type 2 diabetes, that's exciting. The last few years have demonstrated definitely, within the first few years of diagnosis of type 2 diabetes now, there's various programs in place whereby attention to particular specific dietary choices, liquid diets, soups and those sorts of things, you can follow that for a few months, you can reverse type 2 diabetes, yes. Answer the question, yes.
Fantastic, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Doctor. We learned something new today. Anybody else from the audience have any questions for Dr. Mayank Patel? Anything related to diabetes? Feel free to ask. If not, we can move to the next section.
Thank you all very much.
Namrata got some question.
Just a very quick one. When you said you should get annual checkups done, is there any particular age you would suggest starting the checkups?
So if you're known to have diabetes, your doctor's surgery should be offering you what's called annual health checks, like an MOT. You may have to push for it, but you're entitled to it. That's the important thing. Some surgeries are very good at calling people automatically, but some surgeries are very busy, as we know the NHS is busy. But make your appointment, say, I'd like my annual health check for my diabetes, please. And you get various things done, blood pressure, circulation, urine sample. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you. Yes, Naresh uncle?
It's not a question, but just going over there. Recently, my diabetes were going up and down, and then I was told it's really going high. And they suggested what you just said, the diet, exercising, rest, all that. And to be honest, having followed those advice, I think I'm okay now.
That's amazing news, thank you. Did you by any chance have the Shrikhand yesterday or not? Shrikhand. Yesterday, Hansanti made Shrikhand. I'm getting the signals, don't lie to me.
It's because she made it, and if I didn't take it,
This is a good excuse, isn't it? If she made it and I don't have it, I might have other problems. I might have to have other problems here.
after 55 years of marriage, I think I can handle it.
Did the doctor say that your blood sugar was high because you got a sweet wife?
The most important thing was exercising, walking, all that. I was a bit lazy going out every morning sometimes, but otherwise I regularly go out for a long walk and come back. I used to go swimming quite a lot, and all those exercises have helped me a lot.
Amazing, amazing. Well done, Hansanti. You are doing a good job. Thank you so much, doctor. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Oh, sorry, doctor. Back again, please, on the stage. We got one more question. Yes, Renu.
Is type 1 diabetes age related?
So type 1 diabetes, where somebody's body doesn't produce insulin properly, used to be classically happening in children only, but now globally we are seeing more of it in people over 30. So in short, it's not age-related. If somebody's story fits, I've diagnosed it in 75-year-olds, 80-year-olds, it's not just young people anymore, no.
Amazing, good question. Any other questions? Audience? Okay, looks like everybody had good takeaway from this. Thank you so much, doctor. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Lovely. We'll move on to the next topic, which is heart. Can I have Shobna Auntie again? Shobna Auntie?
It's okay.
So yeah, hi. Hope you all enjoyed the diabetes. So next topic is the heart, I think, and it's Viren Bhai Patel. He is a local person, businessman, and he's here to talk about his heart condition, the journey of his heart, how he's coping with his lifestyle. Thank you so much.
Come on, Viren Bhai. Come here. So, Viren Bhai Patel, I think most of you know him, but probably through his wife, Krupali Patel. How many of you know Krupali? See? Good number. So, Viren Bhai requested if I can tell his story. Do you want to talk in Gujarati or anything? Sure? Okay. So what I am aware of, you can add to it if I don't know the right aspects of the story, but Viren Bhai has been living a very healthy lifestyle. As you know, Krupali makes amazing food, but it's all homemade food. She is very, very good nutrition food she makes. Viren Bhai also runs a shop, and their life, from what I know, Krupali and Viren Bhai, their life is all about family and that shop and home. That's it. Most of the time I've seen them just, you know, in that circle. And then one day suddenly Viren Bhai had a bit of a chest pain. He was just like any other man, I think. I'll be fine. It's nothing to worry about. Let's wait, let's wait. Krupali was like, no, I'm calling the ambulance. I'm not listening to you. She called the ambulance. They got to the hospital. I think it was about a few days before they kind of diagnosed you properly, wasn't it? So, taken them few days, and then they got the diagnosis that his arteries are blocked. And they looked at all the options. There was no other option but to go to bypass surgery. So I think I still remember talking to Krupali at that time, because she was like, there's no other option but it's straight to the bypass. So they were really worried at that point, but the operation was going to be quite a big operation. So as you can imagine, any wife would worry at this age. You're 50, right, Birenbhai? 51 now. So 51 years of age. And obviously young family. They got one son, Kunj. He is 14 now. Yeah, 14 years old. So any family would be concerned about this sort of thing. He's the main breadwinner of the family as well. After nearly 2 weeks, they did the operation. Operation was good few hours. And I still remember Krupali was literally just sitting downstairs in the Costa Coffee and just doing the Mrityunjay jap because she was really worried. When they operated him, they found out I think 4 arteries were blocked, and his valve that pumps the heart, that needed repair as well. They done all that, and he, again our warrior, he fought really well. He is recovering very well. It's been, how many months it's been now, Virenbhai? 1 year. It's been nearly 1 year now, and he's going through his recovery. He's doing well. He's gone back to the shop. Now you're going back to shop, going for walks, and doing well. But obviously it has impacted the whole family quite a lot. I speak to Krupali quite regularly, and she is quite emotional about the whole thing, but at the same time she's coping really well. They are a very, very lovely family. So can we have a round of applause for Virenbhai? Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you, Virenbhai. Thank you so much. So moving on to the topic of heart, I have an immense pleasure to invite Dr. Shivani Agarwal. She used to live in Oxford and then moved to India for her high school under the guidance of Satya Sai Baba. She did her MBBS and then went for higher studies to USA. And recently she has moved back to Southampton to be close to her parents. She is a consultant cardiologist in Southampton General Hospital. And again, I keep saying the same thing. I think we spoke in the Mandir as well, that it's not easy to get an appointment with a GP these days. To go to to go to a surgery and beg for an appointment can take a lot of effort. We are so blessed that these consultants, these professional people are actually here in our home to talk to us, and they are giving you their time and effort. So we are really thankful to all of you. Dr. Shivani Agarwal, thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak here. It's always a pleasure to talk about prevention of heart disease, which is what the focus of my topic today is. So today we're going to cover very briefly an overview of what the heart is, what it does, what the prevalence is of heart disease, the different types of heart disease, and then some common symptoms and risk factors. But the focus of my talk is going to be on prevention of heart disease and practical tips to prevent heart disease. So what is the heart? The heart it's a muscular organ. It's a blood-filled muscular organ working like any muscle needs exercise. And what it does is it takes the blue blood from the body, pumps it to the lungs so it can get oxygenated, and then the oxygenated blood which comes back from the lungs is then pumped to the body. So it works by pumping blood to supply oxygen to all of your organs in the body, and that's the basic food they need to function. So the heart, though it's a muscular organ, it has its own sort of plumbing supply, the blood vessels which supply the heart themselves. It has its own electrical supply, and it has different valves, and it itself is a muscle. So any defect in any part of this can cause heart disease. That's why there's so many different types of heart disease. How common is heart disease? So in a single day, this is data from a single day, about 7.6 million people in the UK are living with heart disease. And in a year, about 175,000 people just in this country alone die of heart disease. Unfortunately, about 49,000 of those are young to have heart disease under the age of 75. So it is a huge problem. It costs the NHS about 12 billion a year in treating heart disease. Huge problem. We talked about the different parts of the heart. So you can have coronary artery disease, which is a problem with the plumbing of the heart. You have arrhythmias, which is a problem with the electrical system of the heart. If you have a problem with the valves, you can have valvular heart disease. Any of these problems which are there from birth are congenital heart disease. And then the sort of common pathway, end pathway for a lot of these diseases is heart failure. So you have many different types of heart disease. And what are the symptoms? The symptoms are different based on what disease. Commonly, we talk about chest pain, but as was talked about by Uday in his first talk, for some people it doesn't always present as chest pain. It can be breathlessness, especially in diabetics, women, and older people. They may not have classical chest pain. They may just have some feeling of doom, nausea, vomiting, sweating. It may be a very subtle symptom. So chest pain is not the only symptom of heart disease. If you have heart failure, you develop breathlessness while lying down, or you can develop swelling in your legs. You can have palpitations if you have a problem with an arrhythmia in the heart. And then if you have fainting without any warning symptoms. So common and sort of benign type of fainting is when you faint, you sort of know you're going to faint and then you faint. But you can have fainting without any warning symptoms, which can also be a sign of heart disease. So many different symptoms of heart disease. But what are the risk factors for heart disease? And commonly, I'm talking about the most common type of heart disease, which is coronary heart disease. A lot of the risk factors are not modifiable. Your age, your sex, your race, ethnicity, genetic factors, family history, these are not modifiable. But a huge number of factors can be modified, like your diet, like your cholesterol levels, like if you have diabetes, blood pressure, if you don't exercise. All of these are modifiable risk factors, and that's what we're going to focus upon when we talk about prevention of heart disease, is the modifiable risk factors, because prevention, of course, is better than cure. So we're going to focus on the what we call life's essential eight parts to prevent acquired heart disease. The first thing is your diet. We've already had a lot of talk about diet, and this is a very similar concept. As you can see, this is from the government website, but the largest proportion of your diet in green there should be fruit and vegetables. And this is in every single meal, the largest proportion of your diet should be fruit and vegetables. I like to follow some simple rules. Your diet should be more plant-based than animal-based. Should try and consume 5 portions of fruits and vegetables a day is what the recommendation is for a heart-healthy diet. You should try and consume food which is higher in fibre and whole grains. So don't go for the white foods like white rice, white bread, white pasta. Those are not healthy. Go for the whole grain foods and more fibre. Healthy fats are actually preventive for heart disease. So the fats you get from like nuts or avocado or olive oil, those are healthy fats and they can actually help prevent heart disease. Minimize your calories from sugar, because of course diabetes is one of the biggest factors which causes heart disease. And then for your proteins, try and get more proteins from pulses and beans. Try and avoid red meats. The leaner meats like fish and other lean meats are fine, but more plant-based. Lentils, beans, those are better forms of protein. And then everything which is natural is better. So that's an easy principle to follow. Natural, fresh foods, try and avoid processed foods because they can all cause heart disease. And then limit your intake of salt, unhealthy fats, sugars. Those are the main dietary principles. The next most important thing is exercise. How much exercise? It depends on the intensity. If you do moderate intensity, like cycling, like social dancing, then about 150 to 300 minutes in a week. So that's about 2.5 to 5 hours a week. But if you do more intense exercise, like running or swimming laps, then you can reduce that time. But you should also include in your exercise routine at least twice a week some sort of strength or resistance training. Just follow principles of trying to sit less and walk more, like Dr. Patil has said, and try gradually adding some intensity to the amount of exercise you're doing. For children, it needs to be even more, at least an hour a day of exercise, so less of the video games and more of going outside and trying to exercise. The third essential aid is to quit smoking. Now, everyone knows how harmful smoking is, but a lot of people think it causes lung cancer. That's not the only thing. It damages every single organ in the body. It causes problems with your brain, increased strokes, it causes heart attacks, it causes lung cancer, it causes cancer of the throat, it causes circulatory problems, high blood pressure, it causes infertility both in men and women, it causes aging of the skin. So quitting smoking is extremely important, not just for your heart, but for all parts of your body. And there are numerous resources, you just need to ask, but NHS is so invested if anyone does smoke to help them quit smoking. So just ask and you'll have numerous resources to help. The next thing, which is something which has been more recognised in later years, is the importance of getting healthy sleep, which can also help prevent heart disease, but also a multitude of other diseases too are helped by getting healthy sleep. It helps in healing, it helps the immune system, it helps with your mood and energy, it helps with your brain function, so sleep is extremely important. We recommend for adults about 8 hours of sleep a day, and for children even more. So healthy sleep is extremely important. We all have devices which can impair our sleep, but use your devices to help you sleep. Set alarms to tell you when to wind down, not just get up in the morning, when to wind down. Dim your devices. Place them as far away from you as you can while sleeping. Put blocks on them so they don't disturb you at night. Use your devices not to impair your sleep, but to help you sleep. And then the next essential aid is managing your weight, and you can see how weight over time has gradually been increasing in our population, how people are more obese nowadays, and over time this has been getting worse and worse, both in children, men and women. The important thing to know for South Asians is we're prone to central obesity, which means you have more fat around your abdominal area. And so our BMI needs to actually be lower than other people in other populations. And a healthy BMI for South Asians is actually less than 23, not less than 25, which it is for the general population. So know your BMI. It's a very simple calculation. You just need your height and weight, put that into a calculator, you get your BMI, and try and maintain a healthy BMI less than 23. The next is cholesterol. So there are two types of cholesterol, good and bad cholesterol. The bad cholesterol is what clogs up your arteries and causes heart attacks, and the good cholesterol is what helps prevent that. So what can we do to improve our good cholesterol? Actually, all the things we talked about, exercise and healthy eating, they help improve your good cholesterol, and then avoiding all the junk food, which can cause you to increase your bad cholesterol. And you can get a simple screen with your GP or at health fairs to know what your good and bad cholesterol levels are and try and optimize those. Then managing blood sugar, I think we've already had a lot of talk about this, but optimal blood sugar will also prevent you controlling diabetes and blood sugar will also help prevent heart disease. And then the final of the essential eights is managing your blood pressure. Now the thing about blood pressure is it doesn't cause many symptoms until it's extremely high. So you can walk around with high blood pressure, and you can be walking around with this all your life and not know you have it, and ultimately it can kill you because it can cause heart disease, heart attacks, and kill you. And it causes the build-up of plaque in your arteries, which causes you to have heart attacks. So since you won't know if you have blood pressure, high blood pressure until it's checked, you must get screened and have your blood pressure checked. What can you do to reduce your blood pressure? Again, it's the same principle. Eating healthy, less salt, more fruits and vegetables, controlling your weight. Sometimes if you reduce your weight, you can come off blood pressure medications. Exercising more and not smoking. So the same principles will help you control your blood pressure too. And then, just to conclude, I have a few resources here which you can use to get more information about prevention of heart disease. And in conclusion, we talked about an overview of what the heart does, what the different types of diseases are, what common symptoms are, what the risk factors are, and we focused on talking about ways to prevent heart disease. I'll just conclude with a few words from my guru, because always words with wisdom which teach me. He said, embodiments of love, how to lead a healthy life. Let me tell you about my own health. I am 68 years old, and believe it or not, my weight since the 14th year of age has been constant at only 108 pounds. It never went up to 109, nor down to 107. You can lead a healthy life once you achieve this kind of balance and moderation. I never eat even a little bit in excess. I observe the principle of moderation, whether I am invited for food by a millionaire or a pauper. Even though I am 68 years, my body is in perfect trim. I do not suffer from aches, and my heart is as sound as a rock. There is no one who can work like I do and exert himself as much as I do. The secret of my sound health is my regulated food habits. This is how one has to achieve the unity and harmony of food, head, and God. Thank you.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Dr. Shivani Agarwal. Can we have a huge round of applause for her? Thank you. It's amazing that we touched on so many different topics today as well. Like we talked about diabetes, and we got the diabetes test done this morning for adults and children. We talked about blood pressure. We got the blood pressure done this morning. We talked about BMI, which is so important. We actually did the BMI this morning, got everybody checked. The pharmacists were actually happy to kind of talk and guide them as well. So it's amazing how the two aspects of this event have actually worked so well together, and so many people have got the test done as well this morning. So I'm really, really pleased the way it went. Now it comes the time for these questions. Some really good questions coming here. Are there any specific diet supplements that are beneficial?
It's a very good question. We don't have specific to heart health, I would say. They're not like specific diet supplements. It's more modification of your diet that helps prevent heart disease. I think one thing which I would say is everyone tends to be vitamin D deficient. So if you know what your levels are, that helps with all different aspects, not specifically heart health. But it really depends on what you're deficient in.
Brilliant, thank you. The next question is, can a change in diet help?
I think
we know the answer. Yeah, I think the similar sort of question. What are the diet changes? You already covered that. This is a really interesting one. It says, Dr. Shivani, can you contact me? I have a heart problem. I have lost my heart, and there is a phone number in there. I'll give you the phone number. You look beautiful in this pink sari, by the way. What medication is used to test the heart disease, and any side effects?
Okay, that's a very, very broad topic. Medications which are used to treat heart disease, I think we could cover over a few weeks, maybe. But it depends on the type of heart disease. So if we're talking about sort of blockages in the heart arteries, preventive medications are like cholesterol medications, like statins, which I know there's a lot of controversy about, but most cardiologists believe should be in the water because they're so good. And then, depending on if you have blockages, we often use things which thin the blood, like aspirin would be sort of a basic medication to help thin the blood. If you have arrhythmias, we use things like beta blockers, and then every medication has its own side effect. You can think if you take a blood thinner, you're going to have more bleeding problems. If you take something like a beta blocker, you can have problems with slow heart rhythms. You can also get some fatigue. So each medication has its own side effects. I'd say maybe those are some of the big classes.
Amazing, thank you. And this is the last question. What are the risks of heart disease in Asian community? I think you also covered that quite well. And funny enough, the only other thing in this box is a £5 note, which is a donation. Can we have the treasurer? Can you please donate it to temple? Oh yes, of course. Shobna auntie.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you regarding the cholesterol. Now, I know somebody told me that cholesterol level doesn't matter, but it's better to go on statin before you have a heart attack in 10 years' time or 9 years' time or whatever.
Yeah, so to determine whether you should be on a statin to prevent heart attack, usually what we do is we go through a risk score, and we'll calculate a risk score which involves many different things like your gender, your age, and other risk factors. And one of the risk factors which included in that calculation is your cholesterol level. So it's a composite of many different risk factors which you use to calculate whether someone should be on a statin or not.
So it's better to go on statin?
Well, it depends on what your risk is. If your risk is high enough, then yes. Yes, if your risk is high enough, it's better to be on it before you get a heart attack. Yeah.
Lovely. We got a little girl coming here who has a question. Do you want to come here? Come here on the stage. Lovely.
Do you have to eat healthy food non-stop, or can you eat junk food one time?
That's one question.
From me as well.
Yeah, we all say an occasional cheat day is fine, because I think if you're too strict, then you will never stick to it. So an occasional cheat day is fine, but in general, you should try and eat healthy food all the time.
What's your favorite junk food?
Pizza.
Oh my God. Do you like Pizza Hut or Domino's? Don't tell anyone. Pizza Hut. We go Pizza Hut from here. Okay. Right after this. And you go with that person. Lovely. Anybody else have any questions for Dr. Shivani Agarwal? Sorry? Your car is blocked. Come here.
Sorry, that's not a medical one.
It's a heart problem. She needs to go somewhere. It's a car which is LJ64XTW. The owner is here. LJ64XTW. Looks like a grey Hyundai. Oh, Neelamanti. There you go. That's lovely. Thank you. And over to Shobnanti again. We're moving to the next topic.
So yeah, this afternoon we've got the talk on spinal injury. So we've got Alok Vyas. He's obviously known to some of us from Satya Sai group he used to come to, and he's had a spinal cord injury for some years. He's been paralyzed, and he's going to actually explain to us about his injury. He's an IT specialist, and he'll tell us all about it in a minute.
Okay. Hello everyone. First of all, I want to thank the management team for giving me the opportunity of sharing my story with all of you. So today I am going to share some of the moments in my life which has completely changed my life in different ways and in different directions. So my life before, after doing my master's in computer science, I was working with big MNCs and big banks as a software consultant. I was visiting various cities and staying there for some time, finishing the job and then again moving to different cities, different countries. Life was full of everything which we can ask from the God. A good wife, a daughter was born. So everything was going very, very well. Then one day while driving on the road, something came on the road and like similar to the instinct, like even a squirrel come, we try to save it. That's what I tried. My car went off the road and rolled and my whole life changed in that. Me, my wife and my daughter was there in the car. So my wife got pelvis injury, I got spinal cord injury, so I don't have any sensation and movement in any part of my body below my neck. So whole body got paralyzed and my daughter also got cervical injury, due to which one of her hand is very much similar to mine. So from the top of like above the cloud, you can say, we fell down and not even on the earth, we have gone underground kind of thing. Everything completely changed, whatever savings we were having or whatever, everything gone in the blink of seconds. And also everything in terms of the social as well as physical things changed. And very strange thing happened, because spinal cord injury not only disturbed the patient's life, but it disturbed the whole family. Each and every member of the family got disturbed, and completely, and it attacks from all the sides, emotionally, physically, monetarily, and psychologically. Anxiety, so much of pain and everything. And at the time of accident, I was not knowing anything about spinal cord injury. So some of the things happened which, if could have done properly, I might have chances of surviving a little bit better. But neither I was having nor the people around me was having any idea. So it happened, and that's how the life I changed. Can you change, please? So after the injury, for some time, because I was not knowing much, and the doctors and all, they tell you things slowly. But as I myself started being an IT guy, I started reading about it in the internet and watching YouTube videos and all. Then I realized that this damage is permanent and there is no cure available for it. People are trying, researchers are trying, but it's as of now there are no hope. So hopes are there, but as of now there is no new cure available. So I was left with two options. Either I should just feel shocked, mourn about it, create more panic to myself as well as disturbing my family members, or get along with it. And because my inspiration, my dad is like that. He is very inspiring person. My brother, my wife, they all keep motivating me, and I was also a very workaholic guy. I used to love my work and used to work around 18 hours a day. My wife used to say, "Why did you get married to me?" your first wife is your laptop. And I used to tell her that because of this laptop only you married me. So that's the kind of life. But in a split of second, everything changed. And slowly and steadily, like I decided to move on and take best advantage of whatever I am left with. So while in the hospital and all, because the knowledge was still there, thanks to God that He left my brain and ability to speak and things. And so I started whenever I used to seeing people talking about anything, I used to share my ideas about what to do, how you can solve it as per my experiences. So I started helping people in different ways. And another thing is, back please. So then another thing which made me little bit more motivated, you can say, or upset, that is I realized that whenever any able-bodied person looks at the people sitting in the wheelchair or in the bed or in similar condition, their eyes, you can see, they always look like they are looking at you in the sympathy, and they talk like, oh God, what happened, this and that, and it looks like they are saying that we can help you, but you cannot, now your life is like that, you cannot help it. But I wanted to prove this theme wrong, that although I have lost significant amount of my capability, but I think I can still be helpful and I can still contribute to the society in whatever positive way I can. And that's where I put in front of my bed that no one and nothing in this world is useless. People think, and I used to say to the people that I am not paralyzed. Paralyzed are those people who talks about depression, suicide, this and that. So having all the limbs working is not the definition of capability or inability. And that's how I started my thing and started doing various kind of things which helped me also as a person, and through which I am helping other people also. Okay, so then I put up a website, and on which I put, that time YouTube was popular, Skype was more popular, so I put up a website in which I given my Skype contact, and the site is still working. I have a Facebook page through which I help people in various ways, some people just come to talk if they don't have, some people come up with computer related issues, I try to solve them. Some comes with saying that we are disabled and we need money and this and that. So I try to persuade them that money, if I give, it will finish in few months, and then again you will be looking for money. Instead of looking for money, try to achieve some knowledge, and you too can get whatever you want. I remember one guy whose one hand is not working came to me, and I told him that if you become good in one thing, let's say even if in one game which does not even require studies, not much, then you can participate in Paralympics and the money and everything will follow you. God has given you one hand less, that means He has put you in the disabled category, which means you can participate in Paralympics. And so there are many ways of doing things. So I tell them giving money is not the option. And they come back and say that, nobody has told us things like this. So I do whatever. My hobby is keep learning. I'm very passionate about the technology and all, and I stay in touch with that and try to help as many people as possible in whatever way we can. Whatever good I learn, I spread it out to all my contacts and all, saying that you also try, this is very good and things like that. Then I I have done teaching to various students from different countries. I used to take classes of them, teaching them the basics of computer, how to design a website, or teaching them about the Microsoft Office, all those basic things which are very useful if they learn it in the smaller age itself. And the range of the students in my batches was from 7-year-old to 60-year-old. So many of them, and I am still in touch with them. They are doing very good in their studies and all. Other thing which I am doing right now, and it's a goal that I am trying to spread the awareness of spinal cord injury, about spinal cord injury, so that my main goal is that if I tell them what is spinal cord injury, how it happens, how you can prevent getting into that life, then that way if I am able to save even 1% of the people in the world, then it will be a big achievement for it. So I am trying to do it. I have done it in many schools, and I am trying to do it in many schools, colleges and university, because I strongly believe that if you teach them in the teenage time, then most of the injuries happen during teenage time, and they can be careful, and they save themselves as the people surrounding themselves. One up, please. The other thing, I'm giving webinars and things, you can find them on my Facebook page. I'm also helping a charity in Mauritius with the name New Ram UK. So through which we are trying to help the spinal cord injury people in Mauritius. Yeah, next please. So this is just a sincere request to all of you that very soon I will be presenting a webinar, and I will send the invitation on our Vedic home group. So please try to attend it. We'll try to keep it as short as possible. Please try to attend it with your friends, family members, as many people as possible, so that you also come to know about what is it, how it happened, how it gets causes, what are the main causes, and how you can prevent it. Because not just by knowing, you will see that there are some very basic things which people don't know, and they end up in this kind of horrible life. So that's what I said, please get involved. When I will give the webinar, please attend it and help me in saving more life by spreading the awareness about it. And that's all. Like, I gave my website address, so you guys can visit that also. Thank you very much to all of you for giving your time, and that's all from my side. Any question you can always post on my Facebook page, and I always answer them as quickly as possible. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. That's Alok. What an inspiration, isn't it? I think lot of us moan about little things in our life, don't we? I think the smallest little thing, like I've got a migraine, I've got a headache, I'm not feeling great today. And here he is, trying to take himself forward, but trying to actually help others to get them educated, and also trying to kind of, change the world and society. Yes, Uday.
Hello, my friend. My reputation is nothing compared to yours. God bless you.
God bless you. God bless you all, honestly speaking. God bless you all.
It's not about less or more. It's all in our mind, If our mind thinks that we have to stay low, or we get any benefit by mourning. Many people I have seen in this country, they don't work just because if they work, their benefits can be taken away. So they are capable of working, but they are not working, So these things, I am just trying. Let's see how far I can go, and I'll keep doing it till as much as I can.
One thing that still I remember about Alok is I think we met first time probably around the time when Haripriya Mataji was going to come to do the katha for 3 days. And I still remember he was one of the first ones who arrived because it was morning katha. So as you can imagine, people are still coming, waking up and having their breakfast and then coming to the mandir. He was one of the first ones who came in the mandir because I was already there half 8 and he was there with us. And then when the katha was happening and then everybody was dancing and everything, he said to me, I feel like going in the front and actually dancing with all of you. I really want to do that. And I said, come. You don't have to stand here, don't have to stay here, just come over with us. And he got involved and it was so much fun, wasn't it, that day?
Yeah.
It was really nice.
Yeah, before I go, I have a question with the heart doctor. I know someone already asked a number, this and that, but I have a question. Doctor, you are a heart doctor, you know how to take care of the heart, how to keep it healthy, and even if someone's heart is not healthy, what to do to make it more healthy and this and that. Can we exchange our heart so that my heart is having some issues? you can repair it and I can keep yours one and we both can be more healthy.
I think Dr. Shivani Agarwal is going to laugh all day today with some amazing questions. Thank you so much, Alok Vyas. Can we have a round of applause for Alok? Yes?
Can I just say something for Alok?
Yes, sure.
It takes only one person to bring about the change.
Yes.
And I'm so blessed to meet and hear from Alokji because I read about you first time in the Vedic Society group, and sometimes I kind of follow you as well on there, and I check your website as well, which you put out on the Vedic Society quite some time back. And you people are true inspiration. And thanks to Vedic Society for providing platform to our inspirational souls so that we all can get something.
Absolutely. Thank you, Renu. I think it's really important that these people who are actually battling this on a day-to-day basis, we appreciate them because sometimes a lot of them are on their own. A lot of them don't really have a lot of help around them. And they're not asking for anything more, but just asking, are you okay? Do you need anything? Can we help you with anything? Just simple things like that. So just keep your kindness going, guys. I think we all are very, very kind in this room. And just keep it going. Thank you.
I forgot to name the Sai group. They used to come to my previous care home and they have helped me a lot in coming out of my, like you can say, down period.
Yes.
And all. So it was really, I'm very, very thankful to them.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you, Alok. Thank you. So that leads us to the next topic and our next guest. We wanted to talk about orthopedic issues. And because we knew Alok already, we thought that would be a good way to start this particular topic. And we have Dr. Andrew Flood, who is a lead consultant orthopedic surgeon at Practice Plus Hospital since last 12 years with over 28 years of experience. He has studied from King's College School and of Medicine and Royal College of Surgeons, specializing in hip and knee replacement, as well as foot and ankle surgeries. He has performed over 205 surgeries or procedures annually. My goodness, 205, doctor. And he also trains other GPs and his fellow surgeons. So can we have a round of applause for Dr. Andrew Flood?
Thank you very much for your very kind introduction, and it's an honour to be invited here today. And as doctors, we get its daily inspiration from our patients that we treat, and that's exemplified in the stories which have been shared earlier on. Due to the expertise of the diabetic doctors, the cardiologists, due to us knowing what to do to lead a healthy lifestyle, we're all living longer than we were, and so then we start to run into trouble with the degenerative conditions such as arthritis. So, osteo, bone, arth, joint, and itis, inflammation. So, historically it was thought of as inflammation of bone and joint. In reality, arthritis is a lot more complicated than that, and there are obviously different sorts of arthritis. So, we know that there are risk factors. So, if you see these risk factors, I mean, some of them, as we've said, are modifiable, some of them are not modifiable. So you can see that obesity is something you can look at, repetitive use is something you can look at. If you have other health conditions such as the rheumatoid arthritis, gout, psoriasis, sickle cell, then obviously making sure that those are treated as well as possible can prevent arthritis complications. Sometimes you can have conditions as a newborn baby, a dislocated hip, or later on in childhood, hip conditions can be diagnosed and they can lead to hip arthritis later on in life. So, you know, if a child has pain or limping, prompt visit to the GP. Sometimes it can be masquerade itself as knee pain even though the problem is coming from the hip. So if there are concerns, get it checked, get it diagnosed, because normally the earlier these things are picked up and treated, then the less the consequences we pay for that in our adult lives. So previous infection, that used to be more of a problem than it is now, and avascular necrosis is where there is a problem with the blood supply to the joint, and that causes the bone to soften and to collapse, and then you get arthritis as a secondary to that. So there are many sort of underlying causes for arthritis, although the most common is osteoarthritis, and there is a genetic component to it, but there are things that we can do to look after ourselves. So if you were to visit your doctor, they may organise for you to have an X-ray taken. And this is an X-ray of a knee, and what we are looking at, does this have a pointer? Yes. So we're looking at the gap between the bones. In real life, that is not a gap. That's where the cartilage is. The cartilage is the shock absorber, soft, gristly structure that you might see on a chicken bone or something like that. Anything that you. But the gristle is the smooth, shiny stuff that makes the joint work properly. And there are changes in arthritis in the protein content, in the water content of that gristle that makes it much more vulnerable to wear and tear. And so with activity, that then gets worn away. So on this side of the knee, this is the inside of the knee, you can see much less of a gap. So the gristle is wearing away. This little knobble of extra bone is called an osteophyte, and that's the sort of body's misguided healing process to try and heal the arthritis that these extra knobbles of bone form. And in the hip, they can catch and they can block certain movements and cause pain in certain movements. And you can also see some thickening of the underlying bone because the gristle is less supportive, and so the bone gets more solid in order to try and cope with the extra force that is put through it because the shock absorber gristle isn't working as well. And this is the knee cap joint, and you can see bone on bone in the knee cap joint and these knobbles of bone, the osteophytes. So that's what may be showing up on an X-ray if your doctor were to organise for you to have an X-ray. So what are the initial treatments? Well, analgesia is your painkillers, your paracetamol, non-steroidals, your ibuprofen. There are other drugs because one is a painkiller and one is an anti-inflammatory. they work in different ways, and so their effects can be additive as just taking one or the other. So that would normally be the first thing to do. Now, if you were to use a stick, then what you would do is, what I would advise is, if this hip is giving you the pain, have the stick in the other hand, because that helps shift the body weight over towards the other side of the body and away from the painful joint, and the same goes for the knee. So which hand you hold your stick in can be helpful in offloading weight, and obviously if you use crutches, then that puts the weight through the shoulders and the upper limbs, and it offloads the lower limbs and the hip and the knee. So all these things can help. A simple sports type knee support can help for the knee, but I wouldn't waste money getting anything expensive with all the metal bars on the side and things like that. A simple neoprene type support that you can get at a sports shop or a chemist shop is, maybe beneficial in the initial phase. If you are overweight, getting that down can help, because of course that helps offload the joint, because less force has to go through the joint. And whilst we would still encourage you to stay fit and healthy, the high impact activities, running, jogging, step aerobics, all of that put a lot of force through the hips, knees and the ankles. So you can walk, you can cycle, you can swim, you can use a cross trainer. All of the gentle gliding type activities can keep you fit and healthy and do all the other things that you need to do to help with your diabetes and keep heart healthy, but not overloading the joints. So just because you've got arthritis doesn't mean that you are completely forced to give up exercise. You may just look at what you do and do different things. Then you could potentially have a steroid injection. There are advantages and disadvantages of that. There are potentially treatments coming through when the arthritis is not so bad, to inject chemicals, drugs into the joint to try and help regenerate the shock absorber cartilage. And then beyond that, you're looking at some form of replacement if your level of pain and disability is bad enough to justify that. So this is what you can expect. So PROMS is patient reported outcomes, and as surgeons we are monitored, and every year we get sent through a report from an organisation called the National Joint Registry, and what that does is it looks at my performance as a surgeon compared to all the other surgeons doing joint replacements in England and Wales, and Scotland has its own joint registry. So this is me, and so you can see that the higher up you are, the better your health, and my results are in line with the national average. So what you can see, and the message here is that you can get quite a big health gain by having a joint replacement, and particularly hip replacement. In terms of health gain, it is the second best operation behind having a cataract done. And so, yeah, one was for hips and one was for knees. So again, my results are in line with the national average, and you can see that you get quite a reasonable health gain from having a joint replacement. So although it's a big operation, don't be put off by that, because in the right person at the right time, it does give a good benefit. So I wanted to make you aware, because I think a lot of people are not aware, and even some GPs are not aware, that in this area there are certain NHS criteria that have to be met in order for the NHS to allow for you to have a joint replacement. So if your body mass index goes over 35, then it becomes more difficult to get a joint replacement done. And so we as surgeons can make special requests, but that has to be, patients with extreme symptoms, patients who, if we don't do the operation now, could be faced with a more complicated operation later, such as a hip that's starting to collapse, or a knee that's starting to collapse and buckle outwards, because if we don't do something, the deformity will get worse and it will be more difficult later on. But for most people, There are other things like smoking cessation, a 3-month trial of painkillers and anti-inflammatories to see whether they help and joint replacement can be avoided. And people need also, if their body mass index is over 35, to be referred into what's called an obesity management program. And there's tier 2 and there's tier 3, and you know, when I wasn't myself aware of what went on in these services, so I wanted to educate myself to find out what was going on. So basically these are things like Slimming World, etc., that encourage people to lose weight, don't stigmatise them, promote long-term health, look at diet, calorie control, and by doing that, hopefully people can reduce their weight, and then if they're still in a lot of pain with their arthritis, then they would meet the criteria for having surgery done. So tier 3 is a little bit more medical than tier 3. It has a consultant or a GP who may be able to prescribe weight loss drugs, psychiatrists, psychologists looking at people's sort of habits and lifestyle, specialist nurses, dietitians, dietitians who looks at people's diet, and they can also prescribe the weight reduction drugs, which we see used more often now. So ultimately, if it's bad enough and you've gone through all the other treatments, then you would think about having a hip or a knee replacement operation done. And so these are just pictures of hips and knee replacements. And yes, we probably, with ageing population, more arthritis, we're now doing, as England and Wales, about 100,000 knee replacements each year. Hips maybe a little bit less, but not far off. So it is actually one of the more commonly needed procedures, but it's just to be aware of what the symptoms are, and if you do run into trouble with arthritis, to know what to do to look after it yourself, and to be aware that there are those restrictions. And so, you know, if you're getting an arthritic hip and you know you're overweight, then to plan to lose that weight.
Lovely.
Thank you.
That's amazing, Doctor. Thank you so much. That's Dr. Andrew Flood, and we got the question time. I'll just ask these 2 questions and then I come to the audience. So the first question is, what exercise are good to strengthen the muscle?
Well, I mean, once you've started to get arthritis, you want to do the gentle gliding type activities, and the physiotherapists are also promoting at the moment what's called prehabilitation, which is to get good, strong muscles going into the operation. So even if it's difficult for you, you can strengthen the quadriceps muscle, which is very important after knee replacement. If you pull your toes up, you can already feel your quadriceps muscle contracting, so that sort of activates it a bit. And then lifting the leg up straight will work the quadriceps muscle. For the hip, the more important muscles are on the side of the hip, and so if you're laying down on your side and you lift a leg up in the air, then that will help strengthen the gluteal muscles. But it is just a question of keeping healthy and active, walking, swimming, cycling, and the general gliding activities, which will maintain good muscle strength but without overloading an arthritic joint.
Lovely. Thank you so much. Thank you, Doctor. We got next question. It's quite an important one, actually. My wife says that my brain is in my knee. Is that possible?
Well, that is the nature of pain, and when we're young and healthy, we don't have a care in the world, we don't think about anything. But if you're in chronic pain from something, it does tend to drag you down, doesn't it? And so you do tend to concentrate and preoccupy on that area. But the reassurance is there are treatments available, starting from the simple, what you can do for yourself, then if you need the input of your GP or pharmacy for tablets, physiotherapy has some role to play, and finally you may end up seeing me or one of my colleagues.
So if this guy, whose wife has written that question, if he needs a surgery, do we contact you or the brain surgeon? Lovely. I think our lovely Ba had a question. Ba?
Thank you to give me time. My headache psoriasis, 85% in my body. I can't sleep, I can't sit. When I go to the plane, all my throat is covered with a snake, skin and everything. I done so many treatments, nearly 7 years, but it's not me. I can't recover. Then somebody told me, this is psoriasis is mind-related disease, they said. Because that time my husband was passed away and I was a lot of stress. And I don't know what to do. I so ashamed to go anybody's house or to go in the plane or to go in the train. When I sit, the skin is swollen, dry and swollen. If I go to the relative house, they look at me. When I get up from the chair, well, the skin is on the floor. And then I said, what I do now? Because I was in a stress. My husband was passed, so many difficulties was there. And then somebody says, and the Royal Free Hospital, they give me so much treatment. Get the board, the treatment, and everything. And then afterwards, they said, lotion, all type of lotion I already used. But afterwards, when I start to do the meditation, I try to cool down myself, and I try, I don't know if it affects everybody or not, but it helped me. What type of trouble I have been, what type of silliness I get from the people. Even my family was, even my daughter-in-law don't give me her child to carry me, because I had so much psoriasis, 85% in my body. But today, not anything in my body.
I would agree. I think all illnesses can be made worse by stress, and not just psoriasis, but a whole lot of other illnesses. But psoriasis isn't just in your mind; it's a genuine condition and very well recognised. And most people with psoriasis, their joints are not affected, and it's a question then of the right skin creams, sometimes tablets to sort of control the immune system. But if you are getting a lot of pain from a particular joint and you have psoriasis, it would probably be worth getting in contact initially with your GP, and they could organise an x-ray. There are particular features of arthritis caused by psoriasis that would show up on an x-ray, but I'm pleased that things are so much better for you now than they were.
Even my daughter is suffering like this. She has arthritis, she has psoriasis in her head, in her pain, she has 2 knee replacement, and she is on an injection. Every 15 days she took the injection. She is got arthritis. She do exercise, she do now she's all right, but still it is.
Ba, how old are you?
90 years old.
Ooh, very young. 90, but very, very strong. From here and from here as well. She comes to almost every function of the temple. She comes for almost every event. She has just recently joined our women's group as well, the Sakhi Sangam group, and she has been coming for that. And she's very, very strong. Very, very strong, and an inspirational lady.
Absolutely.
Everybody should enjoy. Worry is there. Always worry is with us.
Yeah.
But we have to forget sometimes that was.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
That's Dr.
Andrew Flood. Thank you so much, Doctor. Right, we are now moving to the next session, which is about bowel cancer.
Meet the nurse first. Then after that, Jim.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I will just introduce this next specialist. Her name is Lisa Lucas. She is from Burgess Road Surgery. She is a practice nurse lead. She's a senior nurse there, working on a project as well with Wessex Cancer Alliance, trying to improve the uptake of bowel cancer screening and especially focusing on the South Asian population. Can we have Lisa here, please?
Hello everybody, thank you for having me here today. So what I'm going to talk about today is what is cancer, the facts about bowel cancer and the importance of bowel screening. So what is cancer? Cancer is when abnormal cells divide in an uncontrolled way, and this may cause a growth called a tumour. Some cancers may eventually spread into other tissues. What is bowel cancer? So bowel cancer is cancer of the large bowel, also known as colorectal cancer. So you have the small bowel and the large bowel. Probably not easy to see on here, but just the outside, that's the large bowel, and the rectum, that's known as bowel cancer. So this is showing the inside of a bowel, and you can probably see from here there are some polyps. Polyps inside the lining of the bowel. Okay. So these are usually benign, but they can become cancerous over time. Is it the... Okay, I won't point. So almost 43,000 people are diagnosed with bowel cancer every year in the UK, and it's the fourth most common type of cancer. And it's more common in people over the age of 50, but it does occur in people of all ages. And over 2,600 people a year under the age of 50 get bowel cancer. And bowel cancer is the second most common cause of cancer deaths in the UK, and on average 46 people every day die of bowel cancer. Lung cancer is the most common cause of death cancer. But if we can catch it early, so stage 1, which is where the cancer hasn't gone outside the lining of the bowel, then 9 out of 10 people can be treated and will survive more than 5 years. Whereas if we catch it at a later stage, around stage 4, when it's gone to other parts of the body, then you're looking about 1 person out of 10 people, 10% survival rate at 5 years. So it's really important that we try and catch it early. So I know that we're running late, so I won't ask you to name any cancer symptoms, I'll just get on and tell you. So the main symptoms of bowel cancer is bleeding from your bottom, blood in your poo, a change in how often you poo, so having diarrhea or being constipated, losing weight but you're not sure why, feeling tired all the time but you're not sure why, or a pain or a lump in your tummy. If you get any of these symptoms, that we really ask you to go and see your GP. You can use a symptom diary to just note down when you have any changes, but it's important that you go and see your GP. So what can you do to reduce your risk? Probably the same as we've heard today from the other consultants. Eating plenty of fibre, eating less red and processed meat, maintaining a healthy weight, stop smoking, limit your alcohol intake, and do plenty of exercise. Other risk factors are your age, so if you're over 50, you're more likely to have bowel cancer, a strong family history or genetic conditions, type 2 diabetes. Now, we're not sure why, but if you have type 2 diabetes, you do have an increased risk of bowel cancer. And also inflammatory bowel disease, so that includes things like Crohn's and ulcerative colitis. Not irritable bowel. Inflammatory bowel disease doesn't include irritable bowel. So having these doesn't mean that you'll definitely get bowel cancer, it just means it increases your risk. So I want to talk to you today about bowel screening. So a kit like this will come through the post for everybody over the age of 50 every 2 years. It contains a little kit like this. It's got a little brush on the end. You just brush a bit of poo, put it back in there, post it back. You don't take it to your doctor's surgery, you just put it through the post in the box and done. Takes seconds. So it gets sent to the screening centre and they test it for very, very small amounts of blood in the poo. So you wouldn't be able to see the blood that it picks up. So if there's no blood in the poo, you just get another test again in 2 years' time. If there is blood in the poo, then you'll go on to have further tests at the hospital. So only around 6 in 10 people do their screening test, which is why it's really important to, if you do get one of these through the post, that you do it. So the more people that do it, the more lives that can be saved. And it can detect an issue even if you haven't got any symptoms. So if you do have any symptoms at any age, go to the doctor and they should give you one of these tests. It doesn't matter if you're over or under the age of 50, if you've got symptoms, you still get one of these tests. And even if you've done one of these tests, you have symptoms, you can still do another one. So just a reminder of all the symptoms of bowel cancer. Just a little bit more information there if you need any more information. And please remember the symptoms and the risk factors, and to go to your GP if you have any symptoms. Do your test when it comes and try and break the poo taboo. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. That's really, really helpful. So time for some questions. Let's open it and see what's in there. Does that make sense? Does H. pylori bacteria increase the chances of getting bowel cancer?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. What is AAA and signs of and symptoms to look out for? AAA. Is it a breakdown service? AA?
No, that's the cardiology.
Oh, okay. So that came in the wrong box. Sorry.
I think that was aortic aneurysm.
We got some change in there. Treasurer. That's everything. Anybody has any questions on bowel cancer from the audience?
I'm just going to ask, first, thank you for the information. The kit that you spoke about, is this something new coming up or people should have already started this?
So this has been around for a long time. It was age 58 and over. They've brought the age down this year to, or last year, down to 50. So if you've never received a kit or you didn't do your kit, then come and see me at the table. I can give you a phone number. You just ring the number and they'll send a kit through the post to you.
And you can only get that kit if you're 50 plus?
50 plus.
Okay. Is this something you can even go like in booths or something and get a test done? No. Okay.
It's a national screening.
It's a national one. Okay, fair enough. Thank you. Good question. Thank you.
This bowel cancer is more related to the constipation in the patient?
Yes. Yes, so any changes in your bowel, so if your bowel's working slower, yeah, it can be a risk, yeah.
Ma'am, there's in spinal cord injury, they do it like a rectal stimulation, right? Can that be cause of cancer, or it's only the bacteria or something coming from inside the body only which causes the cancer?
That's a bit above me, I think.
Fair enough, no, that's fine.
Okay.
So if you have IBS, do you have chance to get bowel cancer? So that's completely different.
Yeah, IBS is very different. Yeah, it's only inflammatory bowel disease, which is ulcerative colitis and Crohn's.
But you not.
No, it's not. You don't have an increase in risk.
But basically, if you see any sort of blood in the poo, you should really get attention of the doctor and
any of the symptoms. Yeah,
okay,
any of the symptoms.
fantastic, lovely. Everyone else is okay? Yeah. Thank you so much, Lisa. We really appreciate your time. Thank you. Can we have Shobana Aunty to introduce our lovely lady to talk about the cancer story?
Okay, so we've got Jill Ganuni. Jill Ganuni I've known for so many years. She has been doing lots and lots of volunteering work as well as the NHS. She's been working for NHS for many, many years, and she's been a friend of mine. We've done so many different workshops like health awareness days from Mela when he first started, and she's always been here helping us with the health awareness. So Jill, I'd like to welcome you to talk about your cancer journey.
Hello everybody. It's been a very long afternoon. It's been an intense time. We've listened to some wonderful stories of inspiration from people. We've also had some marvellous input from people with a great deal of skill. And above all, I really am grateful to the Vedic Society, the congregation and all the volunteers here who make it possible for us to be able to have an event like this and just have so many people under one roof that can give information, guidance and help and support. Thank you all so much at the very beginning for that. I'm not going to give you a long gruesome story about me, honestly. I just want to give you some of the human factor stuff. I want to be able to say to you that it's really important to go and do your screening. So whether it's prostate, whether it's breast, whether it's bowel, whatever the type of screening that becomes available to you, please take the opportunity. We are so fortunate in this country to have a free health service. Yes, we pay for it through our taxes, I know, but on the whole, it's free at the point of access to people. Please take advantage of that. You don't know what simple test might save your life. I would also say to you that yes, screening is important, yes, it can find a lot, but keep checking yourself as well. If you get some tips and some advice and some guidance on how to do self-checking for illnesses, please take those up. Because I just happened to find, some months after I'd had a routine mammogram and found that everything was fine, I just happened to find a strange lump under my arm. So I thought, maybe I'll try and get an appointment. Of course, I waited ages to get an appointment, but I did get one eventually. And the GP said, yeah, it's probably just a bit of an infection, don't worry about it. Come back if it gets any bigger. Well, as I say, I'm not going to give you long stories, but it did get bigger. I did go back, and it turned out to be quite an aggressive breast cancer. So I ended up having to have surgery. While I was waiting for the surgery, another lump came up in my neck, and I ended up having a tumour in my neck as well. So The surgeon was absolutely fantastic that did my breast consultancy work, and he put me on a course of chemo first because he thought it could come up in other places as well, and eventually I ended up having the mastectomy and the lymphectomy, and I have to just tell you one or two of the human sides of things about that. I found how amazing friends can be, because so many people, including Shobna, so many people came to support me. I didn't even realise how many people wanted to help, but I'm telling you, if you get ill, do take up your friends' offers of help, because they are so wonderful when you're in times of need. The other thing is, turn to your faith. Ask, why is it that I'm having this particular challenge in my life at this time? What can I do that will make my life useful, that will make it worth my being here, that I can do the service that I've obviously at one point or another want to do on this earth? So I would really, really support you in turning to your faith when you are ill, because it will strengthen your mind and your recovery. I would also really, really recommend, as you've heard so many times today, to be healthy. What you eat, what you drink, how much activity, all of that aids your recovery when you need it. And it's really, really important, along with all those other good things, to stay as healthy as you can to recover well. So, as I say, I was incredibly fortunate. I was operated on by a man who had worked in military field. I thought to myself, gosh, to have the privilege of being operated on by somebody who had been working on people in battlefronts, in wars, because that's the kind of background of experience that he had. And then when I came through that, I was able, a few months later, to have radiotherapy. Again, it's strange, you can't see anything, you can't hear anything, but suddenly you're incredibly exhausted, and everything is just hugely wearing. But thanks to being well, thanks to being well looked after, thanks to having the NHS, I was able to gradually recover from that. And then, sometime after the recovery from the radiotherapy, I was able to go through for the surgery for the tumour that was in my neck as well. And again, thanks to all these fantastic friends and family and support around me, I felt that I came through that more readily. So, whatever the situation, please always have hope, always turn to your loved ones and the people that care about you, and I know that the best of what you have ahead of you will come to you if you can stick to all of that. And I thank you today for this opportunity for us all to be together. Thank you for all the support that the Vedic Society gives our health and well-being champions.
Thank you so much, Jill.
Sorry, Jill. I just wanted to add a couple of things to people. This lady has had so much problems with her health, but she's always helped the homeless. She goes out in the morning and helps, takes them some drinks and sandwiches and everything. Throughout her illness and through COVID, she has helped lots and lots of help for the homeless. Thank you very much, Jill.
That's amazing. Well, I was just about to say that how inspirational these people are, whether it's Viren, Uday, Alok or Jill. They all are absolutely amazing, full of positivity and full of inspiration. So thank you so much to all four of you. Now, the next person I'm going to invite on the stage, before I talk about him, did everyone have the food? Prashad? Yeah? How was it? Can we have a big round of applause if you liked it? That's amazing. So the person I'm going to invite, he actually cooked it himself with his friends today, and he is the sponsor of today's Bhojan, but also Ganesh Vankiala. He is the superintendent pharmacist and independent prescriber of Sholing Pharmacy, and Ganesh also helped us last year for the same event. We did a very, very similar event, but with different things, different topics. And Ganesh and Raghu both came last year with full of equipments, all the testing kits and everything ready, and said, Sarika, you don't need to worry, we'll just manage it, don't worry about it. We also advertised cholesterol test last year. Oh my God, I don't even want to remember it, but we did. We were like, no, we can do cholesterol testing, and we were like, yeah, that's possible. We cannot find the machine to do it, and he's ringing everywhere, like the whole country. I'm ringing everywhere. Raghu is ringing everywhere. Our other committee members, oh my God, we just went completely mad. And because we advertised it, we don't want to, just then go and say, sorry, we can't find the kits and we don't want to do this anymore. So I still remember that difficult time we had, but we managed to get through that time. This time it was smoothly done. Nothing, no problems whatsoever. So Ganesh, his wife, and the whole team of friends and family, they all cooked today. They all jumped to the counters to help out. They started 5 o'clock in the morning today, and then by 11 o'clock, all the cooking was done, and they jumped on the counter, started doing the test and everything. So I can't thank you enough, Ganesh. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And funny enough, as soon as I went to him and I said, Ganesh, we got this event on the 8th of June. Can you manage the testing side of it? He was like, yeah. And he was like, do you have a Bhojan sponsor, the sponsor for the food? And I said, no. And he was like, can I do that? I was like, okay. So it's like a double win for us. So thank you so much. Ganesh, over to you. Talk about what things we can do in pharmacy.
Hello everyone. It's just Hello everyone. So myself Ganesh, and I'm from Sholing Pharmacy, and I'm the superintendent pharmacist, and I'm an independent prescriber as well. So our pharmacy is in Sullivan Road, Sholing. So I started that pharmacy 31st of March onwards. So currently in pharmacy we have a lot of services, everyone can use it. So most of the people don't know what the pharmacy services are. So it is quite helpful for everyone. So what the pharmacy can give you the service wise. So currently there is a pharmacy first. So with the pharmacy first, there are 7 elements where all the people can walk in or take the appointments depending on their regular pharmacy where they go. So one is sinusitis and sore throat, shingles, UTI for women, and for younger kids who are under 18, the acute ear pain. And there is a blood pressure checks we do. So with the blood pressure checks, people who are aged above 40 and who are not on blood pressure medication, we do the free NHS blood pressure checks. And if their blood pressure is high, we do their ambulatory blood pressure monitors as well, which is 8 hours we do. Some we recommend 24 hours. And as I'm an independent prescriber, I can do private consultations, and we can do prescriptions as well. And at our pharmacy, we offer a full range of travel clinic services and private immunizations. And weight loss clinic also we are doing for obese people. And for some people, we do the contraception service and free delivery service. So it depends on the pharmacies, but not every pharmacy do all the services. It depends on the pharmacy, and at the same time, it depends on the pharmacist in the pharmacy as well. So just what is hypertension? So since morning I'm just doing the hypertension blood pressures for everyone. So what is blood pressure? So it just the pressure of the blood going into our arteries. What is the force of it? Okay, if it is very high, so basically what we eat, our food clogs into the artery and it increases the pressure. And most of the time, the blood pressure is a silent killer because we don't know what are the symptoms. We don't even know how the hypertension can be. So it is really important for us to check once in a while if the blood pressure. And when we check it, if it is a higher side, we have to monitor twice a day for at least a week and see how it is. Because doing once is high doesn't mean high. At the same time, it is doing once it is low means it is not low. It can't be low or it can't be high, and it's asymptomatic. There are no symptoms sometimes, and it's a major risk factor for all the heart conditions, mainly stroke, heart attacks. So this is hypertension is one of the main situations. And in UK there are 1 in 4 adults affected with hypertension. And many remain undiagnosed. No, most of the people don't even know. That is the reason. Most of the times we hear a person who is aged 50. He hasn't got any. He's not on any medication. He's very fit and healthy, and he passed away. Without anything. Might be heart condition. And for the blood pressure, early detection can save life as well, and it helps cardiovascular risk. It guides appropriate treatment and lifestyle changes. So hypertension is very important to get it checked. So there are 2 types, clinic readings and the modern monitoring. So what is clinic reading means is the blood pressure that is checked at the surgery hospitals. And modern monitorings these are the 2 other types where we check at home, okay, and the other one is ambulatory where we do continuous monitoring. So what is home blood pressure monitoring? It says the word itself, home. So we check at our home. And it is simple because we don't need to travel anywhere, we just sit at home and does it. And you don't need to worry about, some people get white coat syndrome it is called, because when they see the doctors, they get worried and their blood pressure raises a lot. That is another problem. So with home blood pressure monitoring, you don't need to worry, just measure at your home. Okay, and see how you are, and if it is high, then approach the doctors. So what is ABPM? So basically this morning what we did here is a clinic monitoring, we can say. So we just take 1 or 2 readings, and depend on those readings, if they are high, we put them on ambulatory blood pressure monitoring. So in the pharmacies, all the pharmacies in UK, the NHS is asking us to do, if the normal blood pressure is high, to put them on ambulatory blood pressure monitoring. So what we do, you have to go to the pharmacy normally before 10 o'clock in the morning. So we fit the monitor, and we ask to 8 hours to keep the monitor. So if you keep the monitor for 8 hours, what it does reading every 15 to 20 minutes, depend on how we set it. So we don't ask normally to sit all the time. So just do your normal routine. So, and when the machine takes the blood pressure, at that time just relax your arm, so it will take the reading. So what it happens is, it will give the proper readings. The observations are much better than normal 1 or 2 readings we take at home morning and evening. We only take when we are at leisure. We don't take when we are running around, when we are doing cooking, when we are doing a job, when we are doing in front of the computers. So this is the advantage of doing the ambulatory blood pressure monitor. So this is only recommended for the people who are having high blood pressure with 2 readings and above 40. So why offering ABPM and home blood pressure monitoring in pharmacy? Because it is easy accessible for all the people. So a lot of pharmacies are around, it's easy accessible rather going to the GPs, rather buying blood pressure monitors, or you don't know how to check blood pressure at home, or you getting worried about it. So in the last month, we done around 200 blood pressure monitors in our pharmacy, and out of 200 blood pressure for patients, we done 24 ambulatory tests as well. Out of 24, I had at least 10 cases has been referred to the GP, and they all been prescribed the medicines. So they did not even know about it before. And 3 to 4 of them I referred to the hospital as well because it's so high. They don't even have any symptoms. So hypertension is very common and dangerous. It's quite, most of the people can get it. Our stress life, we are running around, okay, age, our food. So yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ganesh. Thank you. Anyone has any questions for Ganesh? Yeah?
About the health points only. How much you would trust those Fitbits and Apple iWatch to monitor the blood pressure some is it good enough or?
Okay, what I recommend normally, if they are, say normally the blood pressure reading is supposed to be, if it is high means anything above 140 and 90, that above that one is high, okay. If your monitor says 120 or 80, I think it should be fine, okay. But I always recommend above 40, get it checked. Okay.
Are you saying it's reliable or not?
Yeah, those
iWatch and those
I don't know.
Fit watch.
I don't know. I can't comment on it. I'm not sure.
Do we have you seen any cases like where people are using smartwatches but still they get their high blood pressure?
No, I don't know. I haven't seen any. I haven't heard any comments about it.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Steve?
Are the weight loss injections safe for anyone?
Well, the weight loss injection safer. So far, studies are still going on. There are still side effects are coming up every month. Every other month, we are hearing new side effect. So they are still under studies. So we don't know it is 100% safe or not. But at the same time, it is giving very good results. If it is accepting with you, hopefully it should be fine. Yes.
Yeah. Is your services offered under NHS or?
So, most of the services we offer under NHS and we do private as well. If any NHS service, if some service is not under NHS, we do the private. So travel clinic, weight loss injections, they are private.
Anybody else? Lovely. Thank you so much, Ganesh.
We really appreciate your time. Thank you. Right, now we come to the last presentation of today's event, and we got a lovely lady called Namrata Bora. Namrata is a business development manager working with Practice Plus Group Hospital and Urgent Treatment Center since 2023. She, can you believe she is working for the hospital? She is also a mom of 2 young children, and she manages 2 businesses. कौन सी चक्की का आटा खाती है बहन? Sorry, I just said, those who doesn't understand what I just said, I said, what sort of flour you eat that you can run around so much, yeah? So she said she used to manage 2 businesses, one in UK, one in India. So we are very, very grateful to Namrata that she is here to talk about the Practice Plus group, and she can give you more hints and tips related to that. Namrata.
Thank you, Sarika. Good evening, actually. Firstly, it's lovely to see everybody still seated here, which means we clearly are, which indicates that we're clear with our health and wellness is something that we prioritize, and which is why we're all sat here yet.
So a little bit about myself. For those, some of you know me and some don't. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Namrata Bohra and I work as a business development manager with the Practice Plus Group Hospital in Southampton and the Urgent Treatment Centre. So a little about Practice Plus Group. What is Practice Plus Group? So we are a private hospital. We are an independent provider to the NHS, and we are the largest independent providers actually to the NHS services in the UK. And we're based in the Royal Southampton Hospital on level C and on level D. So how did we come into formation? Back in 2009, the government actually gave us a directive that the private sector needs to come in support of the NHS because the NHS was struggling with waiting times. So at that time, the government asked the private sector to step in and support the NHS by taking on the elective surgeries, which the NHS can perform, but they always prioritize the urgent and the emergency surgeries that they need to, which is why the non-emergency surgeries tend to happen to wait, and they're pushed back because there are priorities for the NHS. So the private sector was asked to step in, and that is something we provide. So we take on all the elective surgeries across different specialties to support the NHS, just so that we can cut down their waiting times. So that's just a depiction of what I spoke. So we're a national organization and we're based across 12 sites in the whole country. In Hampshire alone, we're in Southampton and Portsmouth. Towards London, we're in Ilford, Gillingham. Then there's other sites in Plymouth, Shepton Mallet, Devizes, close to Bristol, Birmingham. Actually, Birmingham, we just had one new flagship hospital that has opened this year. And similar models where we do private, NHS and, private and NHS surgeries, though we are just an independent hospital. So what are the kind of patients we see? We see NHS patients. Say for example, you were supposed to, I'll just exemplify a bit so that everybody gets a clear knowledge. Say for example, someone goes to a GP and says, I'm having knee pain. The GP would first, protocol-wise, he would put the patient through all the things that he needs to. First, he'll give him painkillers, he'll advise pain injections for him, he'll put him through physiotherapy. And then there comes a point when there has been no improvement, when he would say to the patient that, okay, now he's decided that the patient needs surgery. At that point, the GP would say to you that, okay, I'm going to send you a referral for your surgery. At that stage is when you just need to say to him that, could you refer me to the Practice Plus group? You can ask him for a referral. So this concept isn't really very clear with the public here. In 2009, government introduced patient choice. But through patient choice, every single patient in the UK has a right to choose where he can have his treatment. I'm pretty sure not many of us know. If they put us on the trust hospital saying that, oh, your knee replacement will happen on the trust, and the waiting list, the average waiting time in the UK, Southampton General, for a typical knee replacement is around 18 to 24 months, which is roughly 2 years. You end up waiting, there's going to be pushing, they'll say, oh, we'll do it now, and then sometimes you might receive appointment letters to say, oh, it's pushed a little further. So the person struggling, it's a real struggle for them. At that time, if the patient knew about his patient choices, he would have said to the GP, could you send me to the Practice Plus in Southampton because the waiting times are too low. You can say to them, yes, the waiting times are low, I'm aware of that, could you send me to them? They have to legally send you to us. They cannot say no, they cannot refuse. So it's about you being aware. And I'm just trying to go around in the community, work with GP practices and inform them that, oh yes, this can be suggested. But obviously GP practices cannot suggest that you go to a private hospital because then it doesn't work well with them. Because the patient might question, why is the GP pushing me to a private hospital? But we work in support of the NHS. So GPs don't have so much time, honestly, to tell. So they tell their medical secretaries, can you make a referral? And they would by default make a referral to the trust hospital. So if you say to them, and the waiting times, which I will talk about, like for the trust I said is around 2 years for a knee replacement. With Practice Plus, I've seen data which is there on the next sheet, and I study the data very closely because I keep updating the GPs all the time about this, is just around 10 to 12 weeks. And that's life-changing. So someone who's waiting years could have done it only in weeks. And there's nothing different other than the waiting times. So we do surgeries, number one, through NHS, number two, through self-pay. For example, some patient says, no, I don't want to even wait 4 months. Like if I say 12 weeks, it's around 4 months, 4.5 months. They say, no, I don't even want to wait that long. I have the money and I want to pay for it and get it done quicker. We say, okay, you can just call the hospital, say I want to self-pay. Average knee, again, if you talk about, costs around £12,500 if you come self-pay. But there's nothing different if you come through the NHS. The same consultant would do it, the same theatres, the same equipments are used, it's just the waiting time. Instead of 4 months, we do it in 4 weeks. So that is when patients say, oh, we want to pay, we don't want to wait 4 months, I want it in 4 weeks. Fine, you do it that way. The third option is PMI. Many corporates provide medical insurance to individuals, to their families. So people come through the PMI route, they just need to talk to the insurance provider and they can get it done through us. So these are the specialties we treat. We do ENT, urology, gynecology, orthopedics, hips, knees, shoulders, elbows. We do pain management. We also do dental. Not many know of that. And hands, wrists, general surgeries. We do ultrasounds. Now we've also introduced private MRIs. So almost every part of your body can be treated by us. This is a snapshot of the waiting times I've got. This is not so much for layman terms, more for GPs. And I work closely with GPs, with the ICB, which is the Integrated Care Board, which is the governing body for all the GPs and the hospitals in the UK. And I keep updating them with the waiting times, just so that they are aware, and then they can make informed choices when they're suggesting or referring their patients. So if you see, the waiting times are updated week on week. And I've also now started working with many communities. Actually, I'm going out like in the temple today. I'm just coming out and creating more awareness about the subject. I'm working with gurdwaras, I'm working with local councillors, ward councillors, and trying to get the word out. Also, like last year, Sarika had invited us to the temple and we spoke about the Urgent Treatment Centre. So in the Royal South Hands, level C and level D is the Practice Plus Group Hospital, and on level B, as soon as you enter, is the Urgent Treatment Centre. So that is the mini A&E. So what happens is, in times of emergencies, if there's a panic situation, people generally tend to rush to the A&E at the Southampton General. But that is not where you need to go under every circumstance, because when people go there, they're mostly sent back to the UTC, as we call it, the Urgent Treatment Centre in the RSH, that is run by us. And every single time they rush there, if it's not needed, they say, we need to treat the more urgent ones, this can be seen at the UTC. So they tend to come back here. They're losing precious time going up and about, especially parents with young children. Their kids are bleeding, they don't know what to do, they panic, they just go to the hospital. I'd suggest pick up the phone, call 111, find out, and they will transfer you or direct you to us, to the UTC. So, and last time we also spoke about, there's a little about what can be treated, what can't be treated. It's all on our website, so if you just go on the website, practiceplusgroup.com, and look up, you'll find out all the information. And of course, if there's anything more you'd like to know, you'll know where I am, get hold of me, and I'm happy to help.
Thank you, Namrata. Anybody has any questions for Namrata?
I do.
Yeah?
Namrata, do you use the same surgeon that work for the NHS, or do you have your own?
No, we use the same. No, so there are some surgeons who are employed just by us privately, but there are most of them who work with us and the trust hospitals. Any more questions? Amazing, thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much. That's fantastic. Thank you, Namrata. So that's all our presentations done. All the topics are done. And I think we have said multiple times, we couldn't have done this event without the support of all the doctors, all the specialist people from the NHS, and everyone like pharmacy, Practice Plus Hospital, all of you have really contributed. So we really, really appreciate your time and effort. There are some other people who have really worked hard. They've been here since 10 o'clock this morning and they've been running around with me, doing everything that they needed to do to run this event smoothly. And that's our committee members and our volunteers. So I want to just take the opportunity to say their names once more time. I know that some of them have now left and some of them are probably home, but I just want to mention their names. We had Narendra, Beenal, Dipti, Arvinda, Ganesh, Rajeshwari, Raghu, Pavani, Dhatri, Alpa, Sudhir, Rajani, Rishi, Urvi, Shivangi, Avinash, Shrey, Kishan, Fennel, Janvi, Vidya, Ritu, Yogendra, Neelam, Vikram, Hansa Aunty, Shefali, Riva, Viren, Shobna Aunty, Jill, Nikita and Sarika. Nearly about 30 people, that's it. I don't think it's a team, it's an army, that's what I call it, because I think we all have been running around since morning, and Nikita and I have been dealing with all the NHS professionals for nearly 3 months or so. I think Jill, Viren Bhai and Shobna Aunty, 5 of us sat down about nearly 3 months ago or so. I can't even remember how many months now, it's been a few months, and just been going backwards, forwards and trying to just make sure this event is as helpful as possible. We can try and get as much support and information for all of you today, and just make it run smoothly. So thank you to all of you. Thank you so much for all the support.
I think lastly we need to thank Sarika. Sarika's worked really hard, and she still works hard normally here with other things going on and other meetings and what have you. So I really appreciate it. She's really been wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Before we go, can we just have a quick picture with all the NHS professionals and all the volunteers, if that's okay? Just one quick picture. Can you, all the volunteers, come over, and all the professionals, please? That will be amazing. Thank you.
And you guys as well. Udayam, come on. Can we have Alok in the middle here, so it's easy for him? Steve, come on. Hansanti.
I'm sorry.
Whose picture are we taking? Sorry, Hello.
Will you take one from there?
You all are coming. We'll get somebody to take a picture. You come. Avinash, okay, Shruti Ben can take it. Thank you. You are coming. Steve, come on.